So, I should ask you, do you want me to include your name?
That's fine.
In the, okay, so.
I have no secrets.
Okay, well, my name is Larry Spann, S-P-A-N-N, and I'm a veteran of the Korean War, from 1950 to 1952.
Okay, and my name is Bernie Rombaut.
My name is Bradley Menking.
My name is Patrick Michael Lamalva. I was born September 29th, 1929. I was born in Hoboken, New Jersey. When World War II broke out in 1939, I was obviously 10 years old.
I enlisted in the United States Army directly after graduation from Greenwich High School in 1949, basically because there was little else for me to do. I could not go to college, and my 50-cent an hour job in a store in Greenwich wasn't going to get me anywhere. And I saw the opportunity to enlist in the military. I went to the recruiting offices in Stanford, and I found myself joining the United States Army.
I wanted to do something different with my life. I had a cousin that was in the submarine service in the Navy, and he talked me into trying to join submarines, and I did.
Let's see. I had 2 girlfriends, 2 motorcycles. My hair was down to my shoulder, and I wasn't really happy with all that. I went to 2 years of college. I didn't think that was my niche in life. I was confused, and I wanted to travel, and I wanted to get my education somewhere else. I needed to leave home. I was 19, so I joined the Navy, and I got my education in the Navy, and I saw the world.
So I came back in '46 and finished high school and went to Georgetown. And then in 1951, I volunteered for the draft for 2 reasons. Not because I was a great patriot, but I wanted the GI Bill. You know, and they were saying at the time that if you went overseas, I went in the service, and I was with the 3rd Armored Division, Armor. And then they picked me out. They gave me a test, and they said I passed this test, and they sent me to Counterintelligence Corps School in Fort Holabird, Maryland. And then from there, because of my language skills, I speak a few languages, and they wanted to send me to Trieste. Because there was this contention between Italy and the Slavic countries about the Istrian Peninsula, and all those, Dalmatia, and all those. But I volunteered for Korea. And I went to Korea in 1952, and I was there for 10 months and 22 days.
And I thought, well, engineers, they operate heavy earth-moving equipment and build and a lot of fortifications and defenses. And I thought that might be useful. And I was sent to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, which is just south of Washington, D.C., for 3 months of training in heavy equipment operation and maintenance. After which, in May of 1950, I was assigned to, I received an overseas assignment in the Far East.
Your day-to-day is you get up at 4 in the morning, you do your duties, you do your job, and then you have your regular meals, and then you sleep in the ship. Well, I was in the ship when your first 2 years because you couldn't afford an apartment. Then when you get to be like, again, I'm phrasing it to like college, but then you become a junior, your 3rd year in, you get an apartment. You live in Virginia Beach. Your rent's $200. And you have a life.
Quite truthfully, it's a pretty boring life. You get up in the morning, you fall into position, you take your orders, and if you're here at home, you just do anything they tell you, to sweep the streets or clean the tracks on a tank or something like that, or clean the guns and things like that and go for inspection. If you're in a battle zone, if there's problems that day, you have problems, and if there's not.
An average day when we weren't getting ready to go underway, you get to work, you do all the electronics maintenance we had because I was a sonar technician. We'd clean, we'd eat lunch, and we'd clean, and we'd train, and we'd go home. If there was a like a pre-deployment workup. We would go up to the schoolhouse buildings where they had a fake command center set up, and we'd run drills and training. And
So once I received the rank of corporal, then one of the things that I was expected to do was draw charge of quarters, which means that you're in charge of everything after 6 o'clock in the evening until 6 o'clock in the morning on the post. Everybody else goes to bed, but you have to stay awake. If the phone rings, you answer it. If there's an emergency arise, you handle it. My first assignment, I was told, you have to wake everybody up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, I went at 6 o'clock in the morning, okay, I went down to the barracks and I went through the barracks. All right, you guys, rise and shine. You had yours and I want mine, sort of thing. And I totally forgot to wake the officers who live in the separate quarters on the other side of the base. The officers' quarters are much nicer. They have individual rooms and so forth. I totally forgot. And here's everybody out there standing in line. And where's the CO, the commanding officer? Where is everybody? Oh my! So just for that, I got this charge of quarters for the next 3 nights. If you made a serious mistake, you were punished on the spot. Extra duty.
I remember that I used to have a wish to say that if I had to get it, I wanted to get it totally. I didn't want to come home crippled. I didn't want to come home with no legs or arms or anything like that and live the rest of my life that way. And I remember praying to God to say, if I got to go, let me go the whole way. And that was the only thing that, but was it traumatic? We all sharing the same thing. I mean, sure, we all didn't like it. We all were afraid. We all had a high level of anxiety. We all looked forward to going R&R, and we all looked forward to getting the hell out.
Well, what happened was see, the thing is, I was 20 years old. And so I was just there, not knowing exactly what I was doing, because a lot of things was confidential. I actually did not learn exactly what my job was or why I was there until I saw the movie. And when I saw the movie, it put so much more significance into what I did. All I know is that we were there and we were trying to save 47, I believe, hostages, and some were escaped through another route, and one of our helicopters crashed and a lot of our soldiers died. So these are the things that you hear through the grapevine back in the day. Then when I saw the movie, it made more sense to me. It's like, so that's why.
I was discharged from the service in January of 1953. I have no real medals to speak of or awards other than my service medal for the Army of Occupation of Japan, and a good conduct, which everybody got if you behaved yourself for 6 months, sort of thing. That's it.
Actually, I think my goals were fulfilled. I had traveled the world. 2.5 years after my service, I fell in love. I married my high school sweetheart then. And then she moved down to Virginia Beach. And then I didn't think that the military was made for me and her, because we wanted to start a family. And I couldn't see myself being deployed for 6 to 8 months, because you'd be surprised how much things can change in 6 to 8 months when you don't see the person you love or family. It puts an emptiness in there, and I couldn't see myself living that way, so I left the military.
And I actually came back on the day they signed the armistice, not the armistice, the delayed peace treaty. Supposedly we're still at war there, technically with the, that was, July the 27th, I think it was, of 1953.
Imagine, if you will, you're handling $1 million boats or airplanes, or you're dealing with ammunition. You're killing people, literally. I hate to say it, but you're killing your enemy, and you're defending the country. You're working with the equipment that's millions of dollars, and then you come back, and you can't even get a job at Starbucks. Okay, to me that's depressing, and a lot of them go through this depression, and some of them are from action, like post-traumatic syndrome that Kyle has. Other ones are just depressed, and so they need help. They need people like me to reach out, saying, "Listen, we all served. We can help each other out. We would serve each other when we were there, and we can serve each other when we're out."
First got back, I remember silly instances, such as one time, I think it was like, I don't know, whether 10 months or something like that, came back. I was in Bordentown, New Jersey. It's, meeting my then girlfriend, who became my wife there. And it's a silly thing. I heard this loud bang, I think, and I hit the dirt, And it was just a reaction. Now today they would call that PTSD, I guess. It's not, but it's just, that's a battle fatigue type of thing that we all go through and we outgrow it. I'm okay now. I don't need any help. I never have, and if I had something to contend with, to live with, I just live with it, and that's all there is to it. If I got that bad, I go see a priest.
If I'm not suffering from depression, how do I know what it's like? To me, when you're suffering from something like that and you don't have it, then how do you know that you're not suicidal? How do you know you're losing your mind? You burned out too many bulbs in there, and I believe that it's not glorified. I don't think that that's like a fad word. Like all of a sudden it's a popular word. It's not sensationalism just because they think, oh, there's post-traumatic. If you have it, it's dangerous. If you're pretending to have it, then that's also dangerous because you want recognition that you shouldn't be getting.
It's hard. I have a friend he got out of medical discharge, and he was in a Humvee convoy. They got attacked. He was actually attacked by little kids, 8, 9-year-old kids with RPGs. You never know what's going to happen.
Hey, let's face it, you can get post-traumatic disorder if you've been involved in an accident driving down Hope Street. That's about it. We're just much more aware of what causes these things. And PSTD is definitely a serious problem for the military, but it's also occurring with civilians.
And also, the kind of wars that you fought in World War II in Korea are a little bit different than the wars you fight now. I think the troops are a lot closer in those days because they really lived in bunkers or trenches or whatever, foxholes or whatever, and they were a lot closer. Today, I have not any experience, but it seems that the wars that they fight are a little bit different. It seems that most of the casualties nowadays are from landmines and and all like that. In our days, most of the casualties were from direct interaction, either from, you see what I'm saying? It's, in fact, today I think there are more casualties from Red Area troops than there are from, well, there is no front line today. The front lines ended with the Korean War. And when you think of Vietnam, there were really no fight. They just had these rebellions and all these things, and now it's even worse than that.
It has drastically changed, not just in how we fight it, but all the newer technology that's out there. You can keep troops safer, and I think that has made it to where terrorism is coming more because you can't fight an enemy you can't see.
Now, you don't even, we're fighting wars with computers, and sure, the GI of the Marine in the street is getting shot at, but everything else is in the hands of somebody 2,000 miles away. It's a I won't call it space war, but you don't see the enemy.
Do you think that's an improvement, or is it?
Well, how can I say it's an improvement? You're still getting you're still getting killed, and that's the thing. there's no way you're ever going to improve a war.
I think that the military is so diverse. I mean, it's the only thing, the difference that we have is we have more discipline, you know? It's, I don't know, it's hard to me to put it all together right now because it's just so broad, you know? But just to give you an example, I was on a ship, and in a ship, okay, it's like a little town. You got, like I said, you got your doctors, you got your lawyers, you got your swabbies, you got a low end, you got your cooks, you got your captains, and you got a rank. But without one particular branch, without one particular job, you cannot function as one. So you learn as one, and I think that if everybody in the civilian world were to treat life as if the middle person is just as important as your CEO, treat everybody you have a better company. You know, the gist I'm trying to get is just you need to work more as a team. We as a nation need to work more as a team and not be so separated, so left wing, right wing, I'm in between. Okay? Like I said, I don't have to agree with you. Just hear me out, you know? So that's my opinion on that.
Great, yeah, and I mean, I've pretty much done anything. I've pretty much
Good.
done everything. So yeah, so anything else you want to say, or?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
And then lastly, I actually have just a question in here just for fun, but what's your favorite type of music?
Classical. No question about that.
My favorite instrument is a trumpet. You know, I like to hear Louis Armstrong.
Put it this way, the only music I don't like is rap. I'm sorry, my kids love it. I cannot take that.
And someday we, you know, like whoever got the put their iPod in, someday we'd listen to hip hop. Some days it would be like 70s rock. And it just, you get used to listening to everything. It's fun.